So this one's got a platform and a gun. That one's got a platform and a new enemy. Then they've got a gun and a new enemy. And then I don't know what I'm talking about because I've got too far in my head.
This is the Rising High Extended Tea Break, the game dev podcast bringing you the best practical, actionable advice for indie game developers. Brought to you by RisingHighAcademy.com. The kettle's on, so let's go listen in.
Hey there, and welcome to episode 4 of the Rising High Extended Tea Break. I'm Kevin. I am joined with Julie today. Hello, Julie.
Hello.
How are we?
I'm good, thank you. You?
I'm all right, thanks
You're
for
asking.
asking. Okay, so what are we going to talk about today?
We're going to talk about a question we've had in before. Okay, so what do you do if you're halfway through your game and you're suddenly all out of ideas?
Yes, good question.
Panic time.
Well, no, that's not the advice I'd usually give. Panic is probably
It is for me, probably.
Well, no, I get it, right? No, so that is a good question. Originally came in from Mr. Heathcliff, I believe.
Yes, good old
And
Heath.
yeah, so you're halfway through. Let's take a platformer, for example.
Yeah.
You're halfway through your platformer game. You've done this platform moves left and right. This one moves up and down.
This one falls away.
That one swings.
Yeah, this one blows up.
And you're kind of like, now
where'd you
what?
go from there?
Yeah, exactly, now what? So a platform's a good example to take here because everyone knows what a platformer is. I think for us, there's a few different sort of scenarios that we would do.
Yeah.
The first one, and easiest one, is to stand up, turn your computer off, and get out and just stop.
Take a walk.
Stop. Take a break. Take a break. Fresh pair of eyes and a bit of time away from the computer can work wonders.
Yeah, you've often done that with me when I'm kind of, I don't know, 10 levels in on a game and I'm done.
You're not confusing with me kicking you out, are you?
No.
No. No, I get it.
Yes. Go away from the computer, go home.
Yeah. No, but it's true, right? A fresh pair of eyes works wonders generally. It's very easy as game developers to get so involved and overthink stuff.
Yeah, I think that's my trouble. That's a
just
big
trying
thing I
too
can't
hard.
get over.
You try too hard.
I think sometimes I have it in my head, I have to do X amount today to get us forward.
Yeah, sure.
Sometimes your head just isn't in the right place.
Yeah, listen, we talked about this on the last episode about deadlines and stuff. That's a real thing, we do have to ship and we have to get stuff done. That said, it shouldn't be on the sort of the cost of the game. If there's always levels in games where it's a little bit flat and a little bit, it's not my finest hour, this one. And I think when you get to that sort of point, you need to just take a break.
Yeah, I think it depends if you're working on your own as well. I mean, there's two of us, so we kind of bounce off each other. If I've hit a flat day, you'll take over.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, well, let me do a few levels, and then that will glean ideas for me.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, that's a really good point.
We both come at it from different angles.
Because we come from like polar opposites normally.
Yeah.
I do something and that goes, oh, hold on a minute. It's so funny as well. Because when you're working like we do, I'm working on a level and you said, I'm all out of ideas. I'm all out. I don't know what to do next. I go, well, I'll have a go. And I start doing something, go, no, you want to move that. And then that sparks it though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That happens so much. It's just like, and then you sort of like, you're grabbing at the mouse going, no, and do it like this. And then that could be enough.
See, but how would you come at that if you're working on your own?
Well, I mean, that's...
do?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I totally get it. And that's how I started
So
out.
you'd maybe get a build together and hand it to someone to play?
Well, there's always that. I mean, that's why we built the Academy, to be fair, to get feedback at times like this. There's someone there 24/7 to sort of like point you in the direction or throw you a bone of an idea, right? But generally speaking, I think what we would do, it depends on the game that we're building.
Yeah.
But we're going to run with platformer because that's easy to associate with. I would probably go and have a look at another platformer game.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
YouTube it, Google it, or whatever, right? I mean, we don't need to tell you how to suck eggs and go to Google, but go and look at another platformer, right? Go and have a look at one of the classics, especially.
Yeah, it's a good way to glean an idea if you are working on your own.
Absolutely.
What someone else has done.
Of course. Yeah. Now, of course, we say this all the time. Don't go and copy someone outright. That's just stupid. But you can definitely get inspiration. Great artists steal and all of that.
Yeah.
Definitely go onto YouTube. Type in some of the classic, for this one, be a platform game. So like a Mario or, there's hundreds, right? And do a search for like level, something like level and then the game name.
Yeah.
And what you'll find in YouTube, you'll get someone
that's played the actual
kid who's done level 42 in 3 seconds or something.
Yeah.
Right? And you get a load of different level numbers come up. And that way you can sort of like cherry pick and go through.
Like a walkthrough, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, like a walkthrough. But just watch someone else play it. Now, this is a subject that, actually, we might just talk about it now. I absolutely love, and I do this more than play games, is I watch games.
Yeah.
Now, we've had days where we've sat down, as sad as this is, and we are
with a cup of tea,
publicly airing this. We will sit down and watch an entire game on the telly.
We did that with Inside.
Throw YouTube over to the telly. We did that with Inside, from Playdead.
Great.
Amazing. Game. But what that does is, when you play games,
you do see it from a different
you
different
miss
angle,
stuff because you're concentrating on controlling the character or whatever the game is, and you don't absorb what's going on. It's hard. You don't see it. You see it very differently when you watch someone else play it.
A lot of it is sounds as well.
Of course,
people don't often think a lot of the sounds. When we were watching Inside, there was a bit when the boy actually dives into the water and the whole atmosphere just changed.
Yeah, it all went. Yeah, I remember.
All you could hear was him swimming, and it's very eerie.
Yeah. I mean, that goes again. This is so funny when we talk about this stuff. It's just like, oh yeah, what about that? What about this? What about that?
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. It's the whole experience. You experience it more when you watch, because your concentration is on watching rather than playing. And I do this all the time. I don't play that many games, weirdly enough.
Yeah.
I will go and watch a game. So if there's a new catch-up game, new video, one of the big dogs or whatever, I'll go and watch a video. I don't actually download it. Often I will, but mostly, I would say 90% of the time, to be fair, I just go onto YouTube and watch a video of it. Because I can see exactly what's going on. Now, some of the games you need to actually play to get the feel of it. But when you're stuck for ideas, trying to wing this back on point here, go and watch a YouTube video and go and look at some levels, or go and look at a game that is in the similar ilk of what you're actually trying to build yourself. And that will often give you a really good idea of
sometimes it's just adding little bits as well.
Of course it is, yeah.
It's not so much on the gameplay, it's what you're introducing.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is quite a vast subject and really dependent on the game you're playing, your game you're making. It will be different for every style of game. But there is definitely a plethora of people who've been there before and made interesting levels that you can draw inspiration from.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing, apart from watching the stuff, which I would say is by far my number one, would be to screenshot your game, the level you just made, and flip it. Now, flip it either upside down or back front.
Portrait.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that, weirdly,
can spark.
Yeah, it can. It's just like, oh, hold on a minute. I mean, often we've done stuff like that, and it's actually influenced the whole game because we think, hold on a minute, what if this world goes upside down? So instead of the dudes falling down or whatever, maybe he's got to go up in this one. And it's these triggers of inspiration that if you can teach yourself to do this, can go a long way. And we call it blank screen syndrome, which is basically you're just looking at it going, I don't know what to do next.
Yeah, I've suffered with that quite a few times.
It's the equivalent of writer's block. But what you find if you employ some of these tactics that we use, it just doesn't happen. So number one would be getting out and about. Just go away, right? Stop. Go away.
Yeah, bye.
That's what I normally say to you, I think. Just go away. And go and watch a YouTube video, all right?
Download some games.
Download some games as well. Yeah, that's the next one, isn't it? Go and play some other games. You could also try and find something that's loosely in the genre that you're building, but different as well. Because that might even spark an idea. And actually, they've kind of got platforms. I wonder if I can take that little bit and introduce that into my game. So you've only got a platformer, and it's a standard platformer, and then you see a game with a lift in it, right? Now you can put a lift in your game, which completely changes everything.
Yeah.
So maybe you have to go around the other way and all this kind of stuff, right? Again, it really depends on what you're making and how relevant it is.
Some of it can actually happen by mistake as well.
Of course, yeah. I mean,
you said about lifts. That happened in Chaos Chambers.
Okay.
Suddenly, I put a block in, and I can't for the life of me remember why I did it. But obviously the settings weren't quite right, or something. And when I replayed the level, the dude just stuck on the top and he fell down on the block.
Oh yeah, I remember.
So a lift was born, kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah, again,
you
often.
Think, okay, cool. I'll put a few of those in.
Often when you try something, you will get these happy accidents, which we fully embrace. But yeah, just try some other stuff.
Just playing around with just...
Yeah, whatever software you're using, just try some different variables, different values, different settings, whatever you're building it in. That's often a good way just to fluke something.
Yeah.
What else would we do? Well, we kind of touched on it before when we said, we go and get feedback from someone else.
Yeah.
Post a video up on YouTube. Not YouTube, like social, right? So go onto Twitter, go onto Instagram, go onto Facebook, whatever your social network of choice, and try and get some feedback.
Yeah.
And you'll be, a lot of it might be rubbish, but you might find some hidden little things that it's more to do with stuff that you haven't considered. And this is why I think you and me work quite well, because you always come at it a completely different way than I would. No, it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Because we have such a different approach, it kind of works because you think of things differently. So the point is, get someone else's opinion.
It happens a lot in the academy as well. People post up their games.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's...
And, you just for a test play, and straight away you see something... You look at it and you think, oh, that'd be cool if that
because everybody will see it differently.
Yeah.
And we would like to say there's no right or wrong answers. There's no good or bad answers. They're just answers, right? And you can pick and choose whatever fires you up to go from next. But yeah, getting feedback on that, and the best way to do it is video by far. Don't post a screenshot or anything like that. It's rubbish.
No, you can't make anything out.
That's right. People need to see it, and they need to see enough of it to sort of get where you're coming from. Now, when you're posting all this stuff out, put a bit of time in as well to explain it. Right? Don't just post a video and go, "What do you think?" Well, I mean, I suppose you could, but if we were to do that, we'd like to say, "Right, here we go. I'm on this level. What do you think I can put in this level to make it better," or something? I haven't really thought that through, but you just want to sort of like say, I need some help as well. That's a good one, actually. When you're posting on social, if you put "I need help," someone will always come and help you.
Yeah, someone will.
Don't just post it and go, "What do you think?" It's just go "Hey friends, I need help here."
Yeah.
And ask for it specifically, and ask for an action. Some interaction, and people love getting involved, right?
Well, sometimes someone can mention something really kind of small and what you think is insignificant, but then when you put it in, that will kind of generate more ideas.
Yeah, they kind of these
you can kind of rinse it a bit.
I mean, we often refer to them as seeds of ideas, but they really do stack upon each other. It just takes that one little spark. Can lead you, even if someone says, right, you should do this, and you go, oh, okay, I'll try it, and then that's when the flukes come in. Or you tried to do that and it didn't quite work, and you say, oh, hold on, there's something there. The other thing as well, which I think is really important, if you've gone through all that and you're still scratching your head and you're going, I'm not digging it, it's probably time to introduce something new to the game.
Yeah.
A new enemy, a new mechanic even. Or something.
Or maybe even just going the opposite way that you have been going.
There's that. But 9 times out of 10, it will be add something new.
Yeah.
So you've got your square platforms, you got your spikes, you got your round things that fall on you. Now it's time to put in a catapult or something else that is new to the player. And this is all about timing as well. So you need to introduce these things. It has an absolute multiple of benefits doing this way. Your players got so far that they're kind of got the controls down and they're getting better at your game, which would be a good time to introduce something new to keep the interest up.
Yeah.
But it also means from a game designer's point of view, you can add new stuff in to build your game up. And once you add something new in, you can then mix and match with the old and the new. And you start sprinkling these new bits of mechanics or enemies in and sort of merge the two to make a new one. Oh man, I don't know if that sounded right.
I see what you mean.
So you add, so you normally had your platforms go left and right, but now that left and right platform's now got an enemy on it. And then next time around, that's got a spike on it and the enemy's over there, and it just adds that extra element.
Yeah.
So
you could have a platform where you're running along next to a wall, and you've done that for several times, and other things are happening. And then all of a sudden that wall maybe opens up a little square and you get like a gun come out or something.
Exactly. It's that kind of stuff. And you go, hold on a minute, that's now got a gun. And then the next one on from there can have two guns.
Two guns, yeah.
And then that thing opens up and there's no gun. And you think, well, there should be a gun.
Yeah.
And do you see what I mean? It kind of, once you put that new thing in, it can spark this other ways of adding variants to it and then mixing and matching the new with the old. And of course, you can carry on adding these new things. So this one's got a platform and a gun. That one's got a platform and a new enemy. Then they've got a gun and a new enemy. And then I don't know what I'm talking about because I've got too far in my head. But you see where I'm going, right? It kind of like, it's always a good idea to add something new. Because what's happened is, even if you haven't been aware of it, is that you've got bored. You're now bored of your game because you're out of ideas. Which means your players are going to be bored.
Well, the thing is, the more ideas you introduce as you go, the more the player's going to think, well, I don't know what's coming next.
Well, that's it. I mean, that comes into wonder, surprise and all of that, which is definitely another topic for another day. But yeah, that really helps. Adding one new thing can totally transform the creative block or the blank screen syndrome or whatever.
You can regenerate your enthusiasm.
Absolutely.
And suddenly realise you've got all these new things.
Yeah, and one thing is as well, if you do get that second window of inspiration, if you can't keep up with your own brain of all these ideas, write them down. Because you can always refer back to them. You don't want to, if these ideas are flowing, you want to write them down and record them so you don't forget about them. Because once I'm super creative, and once I get my mind goes, I go 100 miles an hour, and it's just like, I thought of something really good yesterday, now I can't remember it. Write the damn thing down, and then you can always refer back to it, and that keeps your ideas book up.
I know when we're building, the desk usually fills up with lots of Post-its.
Yeah, I don't mind a bit of Post-it.
Half of which I can't understand what's written on them.
That's not very nice, though, is it? My handwriting's immaculate, thank you.
It's usually because you've woken up in the middle of the night, you tell me, and you've just scribbled in the dark.
Well, yeah, there is that. I do that quite a lot. But I do like to record this stuff down because it does build up this idea book, and often it can be discounted, but there's been many a time where we've used that as well. So
sometimes you can even go back to like your sketching. If you're sitting there in the evening, you've had a really sort of blank day and you're just doodling or you're sketching or you're watching a programme.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can think, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this comes back to what we said about, when we start our prototyping and stuff, writing this stuff down, doing the sketches, keeping one book, just the one book, and you just like flick through that.
Yeah.
And that's, this could be an idea you had for a completely different game.
Well, you can even come across a sketch for another game that you can actually introduce into the game you're doing.
Exactly my point. Yeah, this is why I like to keep it in a book and not these Post-it notes for these. So get it in a book so you can refer back to it and just build up that in your toolbox of ideas. And it can come really valuable. So to summarise that all up, first off, stop. Just stop.
Walk away.
Walk away. Go home. Enough now. Come back with some fresh eyes. Hopefully, if you can get, go and watch a sci-fi film, something like that, or get your brain outside of the project, and often that will do you a world of good. When you're not thinking about it, something will click, and you just go, it'd be one of them. So stop doing that. Go and watch. Number 2, go and watch a YouTube video. Go and watch another game.
Someone playing a game.
Yeah. Ideally in the same genre to start yourself off, or anything. Just something that someone's been there before you and done it.
Yeah.
See if you can borrow some level design from someone else. Don't copy it, that's stupid, but be inspired by it and put your own take on it. Of course,
there's a big difference in being inspired.
Next up is add something new.
Yeah.
Get a new mechanic in there, get a new character, a new enemy, a new something, and see where that takes you. Because often when you do that, it can actually reinvigorate some life into your old stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And all of that.
Play a few games.
Play some games.
Download some.
Yeah. All this sort of stuff.
Ask other people for feedback.
And get feedback from others. Yeah, post it on your social networks. It's also a really good idea to get it tells people what you're working on. This like double whammies, right?
Yeah.
So you want to show people to get excited about your game, and if you ask for help and feedback, people would like to get involved. Feel like they're coming along with you. All right, so just as I run out of breath there, excuse me.
You did, didn't you?
It was the lack of tea today, Julie, I've got to be honest.
Mine's gone cold again.
Oh, man alive. This is not good. Mm-hmm. We need another extended tea break, which will lead us on to the next episode, no doubt. So we're going to wrap that up there. We need a refresh and a hot cup of tea.
Yes.
Thanks so much for listening in today. Hope you've been getting value out of these episodes. If you do, we'd love you to hit that subscribe button for us. And if you fancy to leave an honest review, we very much appreciate that also. If you want to know any more about the Academy, head on over to RisingHighAcademy.com. Come and say hello there, send us an email, all that good stuff. And on that note, we will say goodbye and we will see you on the next episode. So goodbye from me. And
it's goodbye from me.
Oh, that was terrible. Let's never do that again.
Speak soon.
You've been listening to the Rising High Extended Tea Break. To learn more about the resources mentioned in today's show, or to find out more about the Rising High Academy, visit RisingHighAcademy.com. That's RisingHighAcademy.com.